Welcome to the Cardinal Report. I'm Justin Zipser. Thanks for joining us. With midterms coming up in the winter trimester, North Central student athletes obviously have a lot on their collective plate. But that doesn't mean the last week of action hasn't had its highlights. As usual, we begin our recap in the week that was in North Central athletics with some wrestling. Coming off a tough dual meet loss at the 26th ranked Wheaton College, the Cardinals were looking to get back in the win column, the University of Wisconsin-Whitewater border brawl. After beating UW-Oshkosh 36-7 and Keller 33-13, North Central improved its overall record to 7-6. 285-pounder Dylan Mahler led the Cardinals this week with a perfect individual record of 3-0. That includes a win over Thunder heavyweight Taylor Gone and 2 victories in the border brawl. Mahler's efforts have been rewarded with the CCIW Wrestler of the Week award, joining Nathan Siegel and Andrew Rodewald as the only Cardinals to earn that honor this season. Mahler now sits at 26 wins, a new career high. On the hardwood, North Central basketball went through a tough week. Both the men's and women's teams dropped games against Illinois Wesleyan and Wheaton. Entering its midweek contest against the Titans, the women's team 7-0 when scoring at least 100 points this season. That impressive streak came to an end after a 115-106 loss. Junior guard Kelsey Cooling kept the Cards afloat for most of the contest thanks to a school record 7 3-pointers, but Wesleyan was too much. The game in Wheaton wasn't quite as close. The Thunder opened the game with a 15-0 run and never looked back, beating North Central 118-81. Anita Sterling led the team with 15 points, but NCC shot only 30% as a team. The men were on the road for both games against Wesleyan and Wheaton, and while the team kept things close in the first half of both contests, the team was unable to hold on in the second half. Vince Kamek and Brandon Williams led the team with 26 points apiece over the 2 games. Both the men and women sit at 2-5 in the CCIW with only 7 conference games left. The very talented men's and women's track and field teams got their season started this week, hosting the Cardinal Opener at the Res Rec Center. The women are ranked 12th in the nation, according to the United States Track and Field and Cross Country Coaches Association. In the Cardinal Opener, North Central finished second in the 5-team meet, sandwiched in between a couple of top 5 teams in the nation, UW-Oshkosh and UW-La Crosse. Junior Elizabeth Composto has been named one of the CCIW Track and Field Athletes of the Week after taking the top spot in the pole vault with a winning clearance of 12 feet and 5.5 inches. When we return on the Cardinal Report, men's track and field head coach Frank Gramarosso joins us to chat about how the men did in a field just as talented as what the women went up against. And then later, track athletes Dionte Hackler and Troy Kelleher preview the rest of the indoor season. Don't go anywhere. The Cardinal Report, back in a flash.
Yes, ready.
Oh, come on, Randy. Animal shelter, here I come. And no, I'm not crazy or emotionally damaged. That's a stereotype. I just belong to a total loser. I'm a good dog. So if you want a pet, adopt. And if you see Randy, tell him he dropped his wallet.
Welcome back to the Cardinal Report, joined now by men's track and field head coach Frank Gramarosso. Thank you so much for joining us, Coach.
Thanks for having me again.
Let's recap a little bit about the season so far. You just had the Cardinal Opener. It was a very tight contest. You beat one of the Wisconsin schools by just 10 points, 139-149. You had that first place. Just give me some general impressions of what you saw out of the team. First meet of the season, so obviously you still have some things to work on to get to end of the season, but just kind of general impressions of what you saw.
Yeah, anytime you can start the season going against some of the best schools in the country, you know, if you want to be the best, you got to run against the best. Now, not everybody enters the events they think they should, or I think La Crosse sent some athletes to where Nationals is going to be, but we approach every meet first on an individual basis of what our athletes need, and then we hope that the team can come together in different situations and, you know, do the best they can. So to come out and beat those 2 schools right away, it's great. They're in a J term, so, you know, like our D term, we're not in school. They're really not in school yet either, but they bring back their top people. They have a squad limit size of around 45. It's their conference rule, so they do what they can with their squad and get them to the right places. But it was great to have that kind of win, especially in some events that we're trying to reload and develop in.
Yeah, I think that it was a good good meet. I mean, you mentioned La Crosse, they're number 1 in the nation as far as preseason polls go. Oshkosh is number 5. So there was only 5 teams in the meet, including those 2 teams, you and St. Norbert as well. Yeah. So, I mean, really, this is, if you're going to start the year against some of the best competition, this is one of a very good way to do it. Let's talk about your runners here. This is really the part of your team that really kind of elevated the entire team score. 5K was great, 1 mile was great, 800 meters. I mean, there were a lot of relay events that really worked out for your guys as well. What'd you see out of your runners that really it seemed like they were in mid-season form? Yeah,
it was fantastic to see that. Normally, Whitewater this week has the hot 5K, and we decided, actually Coach Carius and Coach Wheaton with the distance group, since I'm now with the sprint and relay group, last week they said, let's run the 5K by ourselves, and certainly getting 5 guys at the top of the list for a little while anyway, was fabulous. And that was a last-minute decision that shows that some events you really don't need other competition. It's you against the clock, and certainly our distance program, the numbers that we have, they're able to help and run each other. And certainly the sprint group, 800, again, we're doing things individually. Unlike any other sport, we don't have to win every weekend to get to the final playoffs or whatever. So we can do what's best for each event area and try to help develop those athletes under distance, over distance, and still try to get a team atmosphere and put everything together to win a meet. So, but certainly winning the meet right now is not the most important. If we can do it, that's great.
But definitely developing talent is one of the top things that you want to do. As we've been discussing, North Central opened its indoor season in style with a close win at the Cardinal Opener. Let's head back to the Res-Rec Center and check out how the Cards claimed the victory.
Some familiar signage at the Res-Rec Center means it's track and field time. Cardinals ranked 7th in the nation, hosting the 2014 Cardinal Opener, featuring UW-La Crosse, the defending D3 indoor champs. Trevor James from Carthage College highlights the high jump, won a national championship on the outdoor version of the event in 2012. Makes this leap look elementary. He finishes 2nd. North Central's Femi Oyewale does the same at the same height, placing him 4th overall. That's the best of 3 Cardinals in the event. La Crosse's Dominique Nellums, the eventual winner in a tiebreak at 2.05 meters. La Crosse racking up the points in the field events. Over to the weight throw, sophomore Grant Havard wins with a throw of 19.45 meters. Even though NCC falls behind in the field events, the Cards dominate the proceedings on the track. It starts early in the distance medley. North Central's All-American Heavy A team of Travis Morrison, Patrick Foley, Matt Muth, and Dionte Hackler win easily with a time of 10:14.85. In the 5K, John Crane leads a group of 9 Cards in the race of 12 runners. A few miles in, it's Crane in 2nd, looking ahead at fellow cross-country runner Troy Kelleher. Luke Nally and Ryan Root neck and neck for 3rd and 4th respectively. But Kelleher's lead does not hold up. Crane darts ahead for the win with a time of 14:30.63. Keller 2nd with a 14:33.45. Head coach Frank Gramarosso keeping track of his runners. Yes, coach, those are good times. It all adds up to a slim North Central victory over the 2 teams that beat North Central in the same event last year.
So obviously the runners were very good in this meet. Maybe some of the field events, obviously La Crosse and Oshkosh, very, very talented as far as field events go. What'd you see out of some of your field athletes? Obviously you want to develop that talent, a lot of young talent in some of these events. What'd you see in some of these field events?
Yeah, well, in the high jump, Femi got a personal best in indoors, 2 meters, so he's up and coming to, try to replace Zach Hirspink. We have the hurdlers are doing well. We have a transfer, Adam Lundquist, who we recruited out of high school in California, but went to Yale for a year and now transferred to North Central. So he's helping that hurdle squad. Certainly Adam Widener and Brian Wilson in the shot are holding their own and learning more about the weight for Adam. So we're picking at some of the other events. We got fresh young pole vaulters. We won the Whitewater meet last year, but we had 24 points in the pole vault. So this year we're helping to develop that event. We have a young long jumper, so we're trying to reload and redevelop some of those areas. The runners are doing well, but we have to concentrate more on some of those field events. But there's some bodies there that really can put some things forward and develop a conference team first, and then certainly by week by week we see where we're at stacking up on the national level. We have 8 returners from the indoor national meet, so we're hoping that there's a chance that they're going to get back to that indoor meet. And Troy Kelleher looks like he has a strong time. There's no more standards. Every Monday you got to look at the list and see where you're at. They increased the numbers from 11 to 15, so there'll be 15 athletes in every event, and we want to look week by week to see where we're at and what we have to do.
I guess that's the kind of thing that, in any sport, you take it week by week, see how this talent is developing. You said in the NorthCentralCardinals.com kind of preview look at the team that the seniors are great role models. Obviously, the seniors are a big part in developing some of this young talent. What makes your seniors great role models?
Well, they're seniors. They've been around a long time, and they're very talented, and they've been, carrying the load over the years. Every once in a while, you get freshmen who step up in there, and all of a sudden, they're carrying the load year after year after year. So it's going to be tough to replace them, but we're working very hard on it, and that's how it should be. The seniors should dominate your team. You should keep them around and have them develop over the years because, again, we're truly a developmental program.
Absolutely. We still have more with head coach Frank Gramarosso next on the Cardinal Report.
Hi, my name's CJ. A few years ago, my father became seriously ill. I did what I could do before he passed, but it took its toll. I lost my job, my house. I'm getting back on my feet, but I don't know when there'll be food on the table. How'd I do, CJ?
We could be twins.
Well, cousins, maybe.
Play a role in ending hunger. Visit feedingamerica.org/hunger and find your local food bank.
TCR is back. We're still talking North Central men's track and field with Frank Gramarosso. Coach, let's talk a little bit about the CCIW. You have a couple of ranked teams in the CCIW this season in Carthage and Augustana. Really the interesting thing I think about the indoor meet is it's kind of truncated in that you really don't have too much time between the start of the season and the CCIW indoor championships. So how do you kind of bring your team along, in the month or so or maybe 2 months or so that you have before the CCIW championships?
Yeah, it's long-range plan. I mean, our plan is really for the month of May, but you have these stepping stones along the way. We want to do well indoors. There is the indoor conference meet, indoor nationals, but then beyond that, we want to be ready for April and May, and that goes just as fast. So our first team goal is the CCIW, and we were with Carthage last weekend. We'll see Augustana this weekend, and always look to see where everybody's at and where we can piece things together. We have never lost an indoor CCIW championship, so that's our #1 team goal, and the second goal is get as many qualifiers to see how we can do as a team at the NCAA. But it goes fast.
It definitely does. I mean, there's been 13 CCIW indoor championships, and obviously, as you mentioned, your team has won all 13 of them, so you're looking for a 14th straight. Let's go back to last season a little bit. The 3 years preceding last season, national championship. Last season you finished 8th in the conference. Is that more so a testament to maybe how the talent is developing in Division III than maybe your own personal team?
Yeah, it was 8th at nationals, I think you meant. But,
right,
yeah. Division III is the largest division, and all kinds of schools can have 1, 2, 3 athletes and score 30, 40 points with, the big time scores. We still pride ourselves on having a well-rounded track and field team. That's what came through last weekend. That's what comes through to the conference meet. With 5 people per event, you have to have a big team and you have to put in a lot of points there. And then whatever happens at the national level happens. But Division III is really up and coming talent-wise. They're coming from all over the place. And I think part of it may be not everyone's going to get that Division I scholarship, and there are more opportunities now for track and field athletes, academically and track and field wise. So it's not any easier.
It definitely doesn't get easier. It probably gets more difficult as the years go on.
Yeah.
You face better talent each and every year. Last year you hosted the 2013 indoor national meets, and you're going to get it again in 2017. What did you guys learn last season that maybe you'll take into that meet, a couple years down the line?
Well, the good thing about hosting is some of your young athletes get to see what nationals is really like, and when we get on a bus and travel, not that many people can make it, although we do historically have guys take off in their cars and try to come and watch the national meet. But usually when you host, the younger guys get to see what it's like, and that is some motivation for them. We sometimes like to go 2 years out or back to back, but the NCAA chose some other schools, and we have 17. Jim Miller and his administrative staff did a great job. They told me to sit back and just coach, so that was wonderful. And I hope the same in 2017. We'll see how many guys we can get there.
We'll see what happens a couple years down the line with that.
Yeah.
Off-season training regimens obviously differ from athlete to athlete, but if the results from the Cardinal Opener are any indication, all that training seems to have paid off. In this week's What's the Word, we look at how off-season training impacted NCC's first meet.
I think it really showed our team chemistry today. During workouts, I think we've noticed a difference this winter. We've been working together more so than we might have in the past. And we've been training smarter, training just as hard as we usually do. And I think the outcome today really showed that.
Seeing as this is one of our earlier meets, we've been working really hard all week, not tapering off just yet, using every meet that comes as a way to just practice true and keep competing until the championship season.
I'm trying to score points and be a leader. I'm a freshman. I feel like I can step up a little bit more. I feel like since I got the first meet out of the way, it's all the nerves are settled now, and I know I can do. I have a lot left, so we'll see how it goes.
The cross country guys, we're all training the same. We're all doing the same workouts pretty much. You're talking about the fall track guys too, and I know they work hard during the fall to get ready for the track season, and they're all in pretty good shape.
Obviously, the team, running-wise, track-wise, a lot of cross-country guys on there, so a lot of talent in this field. What type of mindset do you think some of these distance runners from the cross-country team help, bring to the track and field side of things?
Track is very difficult because there are so many events and there's different groups, but certainly, we try to piggyback on each cross-country season and getting second in the country by 2 points. So we hope that springboards all the distance runners into track and field. And the same thing with our track athletes, having pride to try to, get on the podium, at least be in the, top 6 or 8 or, top 5, top 4 trophies. So that's a goal, I think, for each team to be up there on the podium. And certainly our distance program, has always set the stage for us. And with 40 distance members on a 90-plus squad, that's almost half the team. So the hardest part is, each group's got to do what they need to do, and then you try to bring them all together. And that's very difficult in track and field, but we try to do the best we can.
Well, so obviously one of the best, runners of the nation, Johnny Crane, is on your track team, kind of anchoring that 5K and 3K he's going to probably get involved with later on the season. What are you expecting out of Johnny this year?
Well, it's, that Johnny's going to be Johnny. He sets his goals, and Coach Carius and Coach Wheaton will work and help define those. And again, his goal is the outdoor nationals, but certainly he proved last year getting second in the 5K. He's a national level performer the whole year, but the emphasis is really going to be on the outdoor season. But certainly he is talented enough that he's going to make it to the indoor nationals. And if the double works out for him, it is 2 separate days. Last year he helped get our distance medley team qualified, and you have to run 2 members of the original team. So we replaced him with Matt Muth got in the meet, and that team was had an All-American standing. So we're still planning on the indoor season, what to expect, but I know some of the distance runners are looking forward to the addition of the 3K at the national meet.
Well, there's a lot of time left in the season. You have a meet at Whitewater coming up, and then the season goes on from there. We appreciate the time. Good luck the rest of the season. Thank you, Coach.
Well, thanks. Hope to be back again.
Keep it on the Cardinal Report. We're joined by a few of Division III's best runners right after this break.
Today is Saturday. 60 minutes of physical activity a day and eating well can help get your child healthy. Get ideas. Get involved. Get going at letsmove.gov. That's letsmove.gov.
Welcome back to the Cardinal Report. Your one-stop inside look at North Central Athletics is back. Senior sprinter Dionte Hackler and sophomore distance runner Troy Kelleher are 2 guests to close out the show. Guys, thanks for stopping by.
Thanks for having us.
All right, Troy, we'll start with you a little bit. We talked to you after the Cardinal Opener, and you had a very impressive 5K running, second to John Crane, and really You guys had 9 runners in that 5K. The top 5 finished with times that are basically tops in the nation so far in the 5K. What can you say about that race and maybe the way some of your fellow distance runners are shaping up here very early on in the season?
Well, I think it was really it was a North Central race. It was we showed that we didn't need any other teams there that day to have a good performance, and we used our fitness from cross country and from winter training just to have a good day. And Johnny and I and the other guys there just worked together throughout the race, pulled each other along, and I think it really shows that our hard work is paying off, and all the mileage that we're putting in has made us strong.
Definitely, for sure. Dionte, over to you in the 4x4 relay, finishing second. It was a really good race by you guys. Again, same kind of question I asked Troy. What are you seeing out of sprinting team so far? I know very early on in the season, I mean, you just had the Cardinal Opener, and it's named the Opener essentially, for obvious reasons. But what do you guys want to work on so far? I know it's early on in the season, but what do you want to work on?
That's a good question. We have a lot of young guys this year, and so one of the things that's been helping us so far is, surprisingly, those young guys haven't been really scared to make a name for themselves and to go ahead and shoot out emails to let the entire team know what's been going on. For example, we have a freshman pole vaulter. His name's Spencer, and he's done a great job of setting up our gear package and shooting out emails to all the guys. And I'm behind his back, 100% of the way, because it takes a lot from someone, coming into a program like North Central and not kind of shying away from the spotlight, but going out there, making a name for yourself, and kind of rallying the team together on days where some of our other seniors and leaders like myself aren't able to make practice. I
think that's a great point. It is, kind of daunting to come into such a successful program like North Central's, and as we talked about with Coach, you and a number of other seniors kind of leading the way, trying to show some of the younger players, or younger athletes, I should say, how to do things at North Central. What are some of the things that you're trying to teach them?
Just leadership and confidence. I think first and foremost is confidence in any sport, including track. I think one of the keys to success is just having the confidence to go out there and to run your race, and not to have the outside forces get to you, such as other teams, such as school and just other things. When you're out there on the track, just in my opinion, it's like my safe haven. I close out everything around me. Everything that happened prior in that day is really not really important to me. The only thing that matters to me is that lane, and my teammates.
I think you kind of have to zone out, essentially. You have to.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I know as a distance runner, I know you go through those spells as well, where you're just kind of focusing on breathing, rhythm, things like that. You're only a sophomore, and you've catapulted yourself to pretty high ranks so far. What has led to maybe some of this personal success that you've been having over the last year plus for yourself?
Well, I think I can attribute a lot of it to like the great leaders we have on our team. I know right after my race, I got a text from Jordan Kramer, who was graduated last year, and he was a great leader on our team. He congratulated me, and he's always supported me. And then Johnny Crane, Roger Klein, Ryan Root, all the great seniors on our team have really propelled our team forward. And I think we can attribute it to them, all of our success to them, my personal success to them, and just the support they've given us.
And Coach mentioned the second place finish for the cross country team on the national level. What kind of, trying to think about, like, training do you go through? I know you go through such a rigorous cross country season, a little bit of a break, you go right into indoor. What kind of training regimen do you have on the personal level here?
Well, it's really, in our program, it's all about high mileage and then some high intensity workouts throughout the week too. We do a lot of hills and tempo runs. And I think really this year we've kind of adapted our winter training to match more closely with our cross country training. So we're doing similar workouts now than we did during cross country, and I think that's really led to us having more strength.
And as a sprinter, Dionte, obviously your training is a little bit different as well. What do you try to bring to this team? Again, we mentioned you're a senior leader. You've been with this team for a while, and you're trying to anchor this team and bring it to new heights. What do you think would be a personal accomplishment come season's end here for yourself?
For myself, a personal accomplishment. I think first and foremost, conference. As Coach mentioned, I think that's always in our sights as our number one goal. I would love to be a conference champ. That's one of the things that I can't say that I'm a part of. As far as the individual title, I just missed it last year, and so that's where my sights are on this year. And then from there, I also want to just bring as many people as I possibly can with me to nationals, whether it's a DMR team, a 4x4 team, whatever it takes. I want those guys there with me. You know, and I think it's in Ohio this year, or I'm not sure where it is, but wherever it is, I want those guys with me.
That's a good team-based view. While these two athletes are providing consistency to their respective teams, one track and field program in Naperville with some new faces, as we mentioned, is the pole vault team. In this week's Cardinal Corner, we get to know some of the new faces that, much like a relay team, are attempting to take the baton from the previous successful regime and make their own.
For the first time since 2008, the North Central men's track and field pole vault team enters a new season without a returning All-American. Three-time All-American Josh Weiner and two-time All-American Peter Garrity have graduated. In their place come three freshmen, Nick Foley, Spencer LaHaye, and Michael Caney. There's also returning junior and multi-athlete Michael Perez.
You know, we have a young team, but every single one of those guys are capable of achieving what our previous alumni were able to achieve. Their mindset is incredible. I haven't seen freshmen like that ever before.
I'm a freshman. I feel like I can step up a little bit more. I feel like since I got the first meet out of the way, it's all the nerves are settled now, and I know I can do. I have a lot left, so we'll see how it goes.
You can still find Weiner around on meet day. Along with his brother Jake, a fellow three-time All-American that graduated in 2010, the two form a wealth of knowledge for new vaulters.
I've talked to the Winder brothers quite a bit, and they just tell me to focus on the process, which is just running through the vault, getting everything done. Just weightlifting and strength training in the vault pays off. Listen to coach, and he'll get me over the big bars. He's created All-Americans, national champions.
In the Cardinal Opener, Foley and LaHaye bowed out early, but Perez and Caney stuck around, finishing 8th and 6th respectively in a talented field.
He does everything he's told. Today, that really showed. That was actually over a foot PR for him, so congrats to him.
The youth movement is putting up its building blocks and should grow stronger by the event.
Troy, we saw in the 5K race, you had that early lead on Johnny Crane. And after we talked to you afterward, you said that you and him kind of working together throughout that race. What does it take to beat John Crane? I know you raced him in practice. You had him for a little bit in that 5K. What do you think it takes to beat Johnny?
I'm not sure what it takes to beat Johnny. It takes a lot of heart. I'm not really trying to beat Johnny right now. I'm trying to work with Johnny, and really I'm kind of working under him right now, trying to learn how he does the things he does. And really, I'm just trying to keep up with him right now. I'm not really concerned with beating Johnny at the moment.
Well, you guys have looked excellent so far. Again, just one meet, but a long season ahead of you. We wish you the best of luck. Thank you so much for stopping by.
Thanks for having us again.
That's all the time we have for this week, but no worries. We're back same time next week. Also, be sure to check out northcentralcardinals.com to stay up to date on all your favorite NCC teams. I'm Justin Zipser. Thanks for watching.